As we head into 2026, everyone's talking about resolutions. But what if yours was just to be cozy? If you're feeling overstimulated, burnt out, or like you want to do something offline for 2026, this video is for you. Today, I'm sharing 10 cozy creative hobbies you can start this year to spark joy, reduce stress, and beat those winter blues. Most of them are beginner friendly, low pressure, and don't require you to be good at anything to enjoy them. I've grouped these by how much mental energy they take. The first group are low effort, soothing activities. Second group are more reflective and grounding. Third group are hands-on creative expression activities. And fourth are more practical type of hobbies. So let's jump into it. The first hobby is diamond art. This is my brain off, hands busy hobby. I just love it. It's really low mental effort. It's kind of like paint by numbers without the paint, which is even better because it's not going to get messy or get anywhere. You can do it while you're watching TV or with some soothing music in the background. It's super repetitive too, which makes it kind of meditative, and it's perfect for evenings where you're just too busy to think and you don't want to do anything that involves any mental effort. So some tips to get you started: I would buy a small kit. There are some things like coasters or bookmarks that you can find off Amazon, for example. Do it while you're listening to some soft music, maybe a fun show in the background, a podcast or an audiobook, kind of for some extra coziness. And this is great if you're looking for something that's really calming for your 2026. The second hobby is cozy reading. I'm super into self-improvement books, but recently I've been thinking more about the fact that not every book needs to change my life. Some are just meant to make your evenings a little bit more cozy. Reading is a great way to get some escapism from our everyday lives without the overstimulation. It also helps with reducing our online time and doom scrolling, and cozy books help with emotional regulation because it helps to decrease our stress levels. Some tips for your reading adventures: create a reading ritual. Think soft lighting, a cozy blanket, and some warm tea. You can also check out your local library or apps like Libby for free books. And yes, audiobooks do count. Think of a genre that you'd enjoy, maybe a cozy fantasy, a romance, or a low-stake mystery. And if the book doesn't resonate with you, give yourself full permission not to finish it guilt-free. This is meant to be fun, not another push for productivity. The third hobby is knitting and crochet. This is one of those hobbies where your hands stay busy, your mind slows down, and suddenly an hour's passed. The repetitive and rhythmic motions are very soothing for your nervous system, so it helps with anxiety and with restlessness. And doing round after round also helps with your focus. And at the end, you end up with a cute little item which feels super rewarding. You can keep it for yourself or you can gift it. Some tips to get you started: use chunky yarn and a bigger hook or needle because it's easier for you to see your stitches. Follow a tutorial because it's easier to follow along with a video than to try to read a pattern right off the bat. There are some really great videos on YouTube, or I personally use Woobles to learn, and it was a really great experience. And don't aim for perfection, aim for muscle memory, because that's where it gets really relaxing to just repetitively do the motions and create something. The fourth hobby is journaling. If you've ever quit journaling because you thought you were doing it wrong, this is your sign to start again. Journaling has actually been found to help process emotions, goals, and reduce mental clutter. Bullet journaling is a great way to add structure without being rigid, and I'm actually working on my first bullet journal setup now, and I can share it with you in a future video if you're interested. Or you can do junk journaling to help you keep memories and to make it even lower stakes for yourself. Some tips to get you started: you can use a paper and pen, any of them will work, and you can start with a daily brain dump, a simple habit tracking, or one reflection prompt a day. Don't make it into a productivity performance. Remember that messy journals are working journals, so there's no doing it wrong. To make it super simple for yourself, you can use black ink at first, and you can add aesthetic elements later on if you'd like. And to make it extra cozy for yourself, you can even add a scented candle to your journaling practice. The fifth hobby is calligraphy or hand lettering. This is such a good hobby if you like structure but still want to do something artistic because it pairs focus with creativity. Calligraphy helps to improve your patience and fine motor skills, and it also has a super satisfying progress curve. You can make some really cool things, and it pairs well with journaling if you're doing that too. Some tips to get you started. You can start with full calligraphy at first because you don't have to get any brush pens for that. You can watch a YouTube video or go to a class if there's one around you. Some people say to practice letter drills, and that's definitely helpful, but to me personally, I found that writing short words was a lot more fulfilling at first, so that might be something that you want to think about too. Print some pages for practice. There are some practice pages you can find online, and use tracing paper to do your practice because then you can reuse those practice sheets with new tracing paper later on. About 10 minutes a day is enough, and the best part is that progress is pretty noticeable within a few weeks. The sixth hobby is felting. This is such a cute hobby because you can make some really whimsical and forgiving things. It's a great way to keep your hands busy, and it's a great stress release. There are a ton of different things that you can make, and I see all these different videos on TikTok or Instagram of things that people have made, so it's definitely one of those hobbies that I'm interested in starting too. Some tips to get you started: get a needle felting kit and check the level of the kit too, because you want to get a beginner level if this is your first time doing it. You can do things like mushrooms, animals, or some simple shapes. Also go slow because I heard that the needles can be pretty sharp. It might look weird at first, but over time it gets better, so keep at it. And also embrace the more handmade look. It's not going to be perfect, but it's something that you're making from scratch, which is pretty great. 7 is air dry clay. Air dry clay gives you instant creative satisfaction. You don't need a whole pottery setup, and it's functional art. You can use what you make at home or you can gift it to a loved one. Some tips to get you started: you'll need some air dried clay, of course, and some acrylic paint to decorate whatever you make. You can start with smaller items like trinket trays, jewelry holders, or mini vases. Keep some water next to you when you're sculpting and make sure that you seal your finished items. 8 is drawing. If you want to be transported while doing something creative, drawing is it. It's incredible how quickly time passes when you're drawing. It also helps improve your observation and general creativity. It helps you slow down and notice details that you otherwise wouldn't, literally helping you see the world differently. Plus, there are no expensive tools needed. It's literally just a pencil and a sketchbook or printer paper. Some tips to get you started: draw objects around your house or do some small sketches. In the beginning, you can draw ugly on purpose because you don't need things to look perfect, especially not in the beginning. Remember, quantity over quality. I'm actually using a book right now called Drawing on the Right Side of the Brain to help me learn how to draw because I'm a beginner artist myself. And one of the exercises that it had me do is drawing an image upside down, which to me sounded totally crazy, but it actually helps to quiet down that little voice in my head that judges what I do or criticizing how I'm doing it. And that actually helped me be a much better artist. So if you're interested, that might be an exercise that you can try out. Literally take an image, flip it upside down, and draw exactly the shapes that you're seeing on that upside down image. And the outcome can be pretty incredible. Number 9 is baking, and this is my sister's wheelhouse. I'm personally not that great at baking, but I'm not baking to impress anyone. I bake literally to slow down, follow steps, and try to be present in a way that my phone can never get me to. I also like baking because it's a really sensory experience, like the smells, the textures, the warmth, and eventually maybe even the taste. It's really rewarding to me to follow the steps and potentially get something nice and tasty at the end. So it's a great way to escape, and if you feel like it at the end, you can even share what you created with loved ones too. Some tips to get you started: pick a category to test out. You can do things like breads, cakes, or cookies. I personally love banana bread. It's a really beginner-friendly way to get started, or focaccia bread. You might need to pick a recipe and do it a few times just to get the hang of it, but just be ready to try things out and experiment. Try to measure precisely and follow the recipe as closely as you can. The best thing about baking is that the more present you are, the more attuned you are to what's going on, and the more you follow things closely, the better the bake becomes, and also the better for your brain the hobby is too. 10 is upcycling and sewing. Upcycling sounds so fun to me because I love knowing that no one else in the world has this exact piece. It combines creativity with sustainability and gives you a one-of-a-kind piece, which is so awesome. It also helps with things like problem-solving skills because you don't want to get too tied to an idea in case you have to change things around. So I personally want to try this hobby because I want to learn to be more flexible with the outcomes, and I'm just so curious on what I could potentially make as an upcycling activity. Some tips to get you started: learn basic hand sewing techniques first. You can start with oversized shirts, maybe a tote bag, or doing something different with jeans first. And you can also do some alterations before going to full garment making. Remember that imperfection is part of the charm with upcycling, especially as you're learning, and you should take before and after pictures just as a way to keep you motivated and to encourage you as you're learning this hobby and skill. And that's it for this video. If you're trying to make 2026 feel slower, more intentional, and more creative, you don't need a total life reset. You just need one hobby that feels good to come back to. If you like this video, please hit the like button. Let me know in the comments which hobby you're going to be trying this year, and if you'd like a part 2, I have some ideas. Subscribe for more creative content, and I'll hopefully see you very soon. Bye.